Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FGM Ecast for your Thursday night. We are here with the ANZCAR Cup, the chase, and we're back at Bristol. The iRacing gods have seen fit to allow us to finally run this event, qualifying having already taken place last week, and we've got 3 minutes left here in the warm-up, and then we will be heading straight into the race here, joined by the one, the only Carl Withy. Carl, good evening for a Thursday.
Good evening, Stuart. Good evening, everybody. Yes, we are here. We are back, and we are back with the Cup action here at Bristol Motor Speedway in the last great Coliseum, of course, with the Cup action finally happening after a mild issue with some server maintenance, things like that. Just before we kick off with everything, I just thought I would actually run us through the championship standings, and I just want to make sure I actually clicked on the right one, because I thought I had, but I'll just double-check that one. But yeah, we are back. We have had qualifying already, and we're pretty much just jumping straight into the race, so it's going to be exciting. So, championship standings. Since last time out, we've got Jason Martin up there in P1, with Neil Pearson 1 point behind. Hamish Gallagher 7 points down in third. Fourth place is Foster, 14 points off the lead. 17 points down in fifth is Skurlock. 20 points off the lead is Josh Micklemore. 7th place, we've got Joshua Carroll-Walden starting on pole, 29 points off the lead. 8th place is Daiso, 31 points off the lead in a joint position with Danny G. Maddie Raymond is in 10th, 38 off the lead, and then we have Luke Trahere is the bottom of the chase, 41 off the lead. So it's still all to play for. There is not much between those guys. How will they all do tonight? That's the big question. Hopefully one of the chase drivers, Mr. Josh Micklemore, will be feeling a bit better from last night. He got stung in the eye by a bee yesterday, so had to drive the race with just one eye. So he is basically a pirate tonight.
What was scary is how well he drove with one eye.
Exactly, yeah. The fact he did so well just with one eye shows just how little impact that had.
It was it was an interesting conversation after the race last night, and he dropped that little fact on us. But he's back tonight. Obviously, I reckon we're going to be feeling a little bit better from that one. That's for sure.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and hopefully not eyes crossed for him. It should be a lot better, and hopefully he'll be able to see a little bit better as well. But it is going to be very close up at the front. As I said, Joshua Carroll-Walden did take pole last time out. Ryan Jones set the identical lap time as well, so he'll be starting on the outside. So it's side by side for those two, despite setting identical lap times. Second time Ryan Jones has done that. Now he's dropped that extra one off of the car. Hopefully that will give him a little bit less weight, so he can actually get that one step higher, gain a millionth of a second, and not have to start P2 next time. 2 times in a season, missing out on pole because you've set an identical lap time has to be very unlucky indeed.
Yeah, and at the moment, it's just happening again here. Jones and Pearson fastest in practice with exactly the same lap times once again. So a 14.62 apiece there. Got a couple of drivers throughout. Obviously this is our first season with ANZCAR in the Cup, but I reckon you'd struggle to find any series where you've had not one, not two, but 3 occasions where the top 2 drivers have set exactly the same time.
It's very rare to happen. I mean, it's not unthinkable. I mean, we had Jerez back in 97, I think it was, with Hill, Villeneuve, and maybe Hakkinen or Schumacher. I'm trying to remember now. My memory is going back there. I'm sure I will get told which one it was, but they said identical lap times, all 3 of them, for the qualifying in that race. So we are going to grid up here, ready for tonight's race for the chase of 2021.
I was about to say that's not going to be a quiz question, because it's one that, albeit when you mentioned it, I remembered that actually. I wouldn't have been able to give you that answer. But anyway, we'll save some of those things for a little bit later on. With 200 laps tonight here at Bristol, that'll go by in a flash. If you weren't with us for the Xfinity Thunder Series race here a week ago, there were a few cautions. In fact, I think there were 10 cautions over that race, and we were talking last week about how the drivers were going to manage here with this race. So 30 cars on track as always, and it could be, in fact there's only 27 on track tonight, so it could be another difficult race.
Yeah, well, it'll be a little bit less on the track, so let's run through the starting order. So up front, we've got Joshua Carroll-Walden and Ryan Jones, but it's Wally, Foster, Micklemore, Urquio, Matt Hunter, Ruben Phelps, Gallagher, Russell, Pearson, Martin, Traher, Williams, Clark, Douglas, Griffiths, Skerlock, Stockton, Danny G, Witcher, Raymond, Patton, Jackson, Otto, Neil, and at the back it's Andrew Dyson. So he's going to have to work his way through the field. It's going to be a tricky one for Dyson tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder how Joshua Carroll-Walden's going to handle this. He obviously is on pole position. He's got Ryan Jones on the outside in the newly rebranded Double One M&M's liveried car. So it's going to be an interesting start. And, of course, right behind them is Philip Worley and Edward Foster. So it'll be just grabbing the steering wheel a little bit harder, seeing Ryan Jones swerving up near the pace car in front of him. But aside of that, I reckon we're going to have a real firecracker of a start here.
We are indeed, and it's going to be very tight. And look, with a few less cars on track, we might see a little bit less carnage than we saw in the Xfinity series. So hopefully people will be I imagine people will be a little bit less trigger happy as well. We've got 200 laps here tonight as well, so it's a longer old race to go. I mean, it is a very short lap, of course, of only less than 15 seconds, but it is still a long race to get through, and early on, it can be very painful if you take damage, so nobody's going to want to take that early hit. So Joshua Carroll-Walden is going to walk and lead us away in an Atari Autosports car. He's got Ryan Jones on the outside. The pace car is going to come in, and we're going to go green for the Bristol round of the ANZCAR Cup Chase. Joshua Carroll-Walden gets a fantastic start. Philip Woolley on the inside gets a really nice jump as well, getting alongside Ryan Jones, trying to make that move early. Can't quite make it work right here. He's going to try now as they go through turns 4 and 4, all 3 and 4, and he hits Foster. Just goes up, tags Foster a little bit. That's put Foster down. Not a huge amount of damage on the front of Foster's car, luckily, so he shouldn't be too poor off with that. But any damage is not good damage. Meanwhile, up the front, we have got a move on from Ryan Jones. Ryan Jones making a move down the inside early. He gets down there. Joshua Carroll-Walden just scrubbing up the track wide. Loses a little bit of grip, running that very high line. Just runs up to the edge of the track, manages to save it, keeps it in first place for now.
Yeah, Edward Foster would have had his heart in his mouth there for a minute with seeing Philip Worley just coming up the track there, managing not to spin off, which is good, and he'll continue on. In fact, he's just got back in front of Worley now in the number 53 Natari Autosport entry. Josh Micklemore up in front of him now as well. So Carroll-Walden and Foster will like the fact that there's two teammates up at the front. They've got to get back together there. You can see Mitch Motorsport starting to make their way through. Hamish Gallagher up 2 spots, 3 spots now already, in fact, as he moves up into 6th position.
Yeah, look, really rough start there for a couple of drivers, but way clean, no cautions at least. A few drivers making some good jumps early on. David Stockton moving way up the field, up 5 positions in 14th position. Ryan Jones just tagging the wall again. He tries a bit of a move this time though. He tags the wall a little bit late, gets a really good run off the corner. He's going to make a run on Joshua Carroll-Walden here, and he's going to try and make it stick. JCW gets the outside. Oi. Ryan Jones loses the back end, manages to save it in a 4th of July M&M liveried car. Could have been fireworks there. Luckily, though, we did not see them. But Ryan Jones just saving that car. Another little tap into the wall. He's pushing early and hard. And that is going to affect his tyres a little bit later in the stint, of course. The harder you work the car now is the worse it's going to be later on in the stint. Philip Woolley just dropping down a little bit now. He's dropped down to around about P7 or 8, P8 now. So he's just dropped off a little bit off the pace there. So he's moved down. Lachlan Elko having a good start. He's up into P5 at the moment. He's right behind Foster, putting pressure on him at the moment. So Elko again having another good strong night. And watch out behind him because Hamish Gallagher is working his way through the field as well. So Hamish Gallagher on the move.
Big move as well. Neil Pearson up 5 positions. So at the moment, Ryan Jones just falling back into the clutches of Josh Micklemore with Edward Foster and Lachlan Elko in that group that's forming. It's given Joshua Carroll-Walden about a second gap up at the front of the field. So he will be enjoying a little bit of relief from the pressure relenting there, and Josh Micklemore's on his way. So Ryan Jones will be wanting to get a fair bit of damage on that right-hand front corner now of the double one M&M entry. So he's been up into the wall a few times, and that's impacted on the car.
And you've got to be careful with that as well, because if you do hit the wall a little bit too hard, you will earn yourself an instant point early on. And those instant points can build up and eventually can get you a drive-through penalty. So you have to be a little bit thoughtful of that. Generally, a little slap against the wall is not too bad. but sometimes they can start to ping you a little bit for that one. And I'd say Ryan Jones has already probably got at least 1 or 2 incident points in this race. So something you have to be careful of later on in the evening.
Just jumping on board with Andrew Dyson now. You spoke about him making his way up from the back of the field. He's up 5 spots already. He's just behind Michael Skurlock and Barry Neal there. So he's making moves early on to make sure he gets up to the front of the pack. Michael Skurlock will be another one who'll be looking to move up. He's dropped 3 positions off the start of this race.
We've got a caution out, and it is Damon Stockton who has lost it in coming out of turn 4. So didn't see the full incident there, but it looks like he's just got a little bit tapped, just come down a little bit and tagged Ruben Phelps.
Yep.
Spun it in front of the whole field, and luckily everybody doing a great job of avoiding that crash, because that would have been a night ender if you T-boned that car. So very good job avoiding that incident for everybody out there. Watch this from Norman Clark's view. Look at this. Just about misses it. That is lightning fast reaction there from Norman Clark.
Yeah, Gail, I was just about to say that you called it. You said there'd be an early caution, and you were absolutely right. On lap 15, we got our first caution of the night. So Stockton will be able to keep going there. He's got damage to the back and to the right-hand corner of the car, Carl. But here at Bristol, probably not the worst place to get damage.
Very much so. Look, that's going to be a. It's not too bad. The main thing you want to be careful of is damage on the wheels.
Yeah.
Getting suspension damage. That's the thing you've got to be careful of. Even with motor damage, you can survive here at Bristol a little bit because it is not so power sensitive. So you can sort of just you always get a little bit of a breather, and you can kind of make up position still and still get a good finish with a little bit of engine damage. But if you get suspension damage, that's going to affect your tyre wear, that's going to affect how the car steers, and that's just going to make your night so very long, so very miserable, and it is going to cost you time constantly.
Just jumped out here to the scenic view, so you can definitely see why it's called the Coliseum. A huge stadium here as well, so obviously full for the ANZCAR Cup, but definitely would have been a cracking place to go.
Yeah, very much so. 7th biggest stadium in the world, I'm pretty sure, off the top of my head, without my cheat sheet in front of me. But it is very much up there. It is a huge, huge stadium, and it is just such a cool looking place. I mean, this is the sort of thing that we love about NASCAR. It's just this kind of thing. It's a spectacle. It is
Absolutely.
A spectacle.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any motorsport that rivals it in terms of that. Trev, evening. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, tight little bull ring. It certainly is. And I saw, Carl, you may know a little bit more about this than me. I just don't want to miss this going green. So if we do, we'll come back to it. No, the lights are still on. Confirmed that they're going to be running a stadium, a track built inside a stadium next season. Yes.
So that's going to be at the start of the season for the... our brain is going dead now. See, this is the trouble when at certain times of the night, my memory loses out on things. But yeah, they will be running in the stadium for the first race of the year. They I can't remember what it's called now.
Not an All Stars, no, not that.
No.
It's later in the season.
Clash. That's
the Clash.
The one.
Well done. Yes, the band.
There we go. Yeah, I was singing "Rock the Casbah" in my head. Eventually, it got there. Yeah, so that's going to be a really interesting one. It's a very flat venue, though. So that's one of the big things. It's going to be a very flat track. It is pretty much, there is no banking whatsoever. So it is literally just a very, very flat track. And that is going to make things interesting. It's going to be great to see the NASCARs out there, but seeing it in iRacing will be interesting. So we're going to go back to green here. JCW gets a really good start away. Again, nails that one. You can see Ryan Jones just up on the outside. He's just going to get hung up a little bit high. You can see Josh Mickelmore making a move. Can't quite make it work. Ryan Jones uses the up and over there and gets a really nice run off the corner to get underneath Joshua Carroll-Walden. Tries to make the move. Will he make it stick? Doesn't quite get the run off the corner. Gets a little bit of wheel spin off the rear tyres. That cost him a little bit of time down the straight. Looks like JCW's got better rear tyres at the moment, just better sticking capability on the rear of that car. It looks a little bit more settled. And he's just able to get the run off the corner where Ryan Jones quicker into the corner, JCW quicker out of the corner, and that's saving him those positions. Look at Neil Pearson trying to work his way up. He's next side by side with Foster at the moment, trying to make that move work. Can't quite make it happen at the moment. Still trying to make it happen. You've got a bit of a Mitch Motorsport bundle behind them with Josh Micklemore, Jason Martin, Hamish Gallagher there, and you've also got Philip Worley just in the middle of that. The two purple cars out on track next to each other, and trying to stop the Mitch Motorsports boys linking up together.
Yeah, plenty of movement out of this caution period up the front here. Neil Pearson on a charge. He's up 8 spots now, or he would be had he returned. Yeah, he goes again. They're just swapping there with Foster, but he's up 7 positions at the moment, and charging hard is Pearson in the number 9 DPR entry.
Yeah, really charging his way at the moment. It is a full charger, as you say, and Daiso and Barry Neal up 7 positions at the moment. Neil Pearson 7 positions as well. So the battle for most positions gained is a heated one at the moment. Who is going to get that one tonight? Usually we'd put our money on Matty Ray, but I've got to say Andrew Dyson might be looking good for that one tonight.
Just a comment from Higley. Welcome to the stream. In the comments saying we'd seen Denny Hamlin's number 11 on a Kyle Busch paint scheme. Guy must be a Joe Gibbs Racing Team fan. So just talking about Ryan Jones, of course, there.
Very much so. I think he's a Joe Gibbs fan, a bit of a Busch fan as well. Mr. Ryan Jones, and his lucky number 11, he's finally got it back this season as well. Halfway through the year, but he has managed to get it back. Of course, the numbers are locked in ANZCAR. You choose your numbers at the beginning of the season, and if somebody doesn't race theirs for a long time, then eventually it goes back up for grabs. And that's what's happened there. A lot of drivers running that very high line at the moment. The track's pretty clean as it stands. There's not much marbling, not much grit and dirt on the circuit, of course. Usually by this stage of the night, we've had qualifying, we've had practice, things like that. So there's a lot more marbles on the outside. Right now, it is clean as anything. It's as clean as a whistle out there. So the drivers are using it to their advantage. But later on in the race, as it starts to get a little bit marbly out there, expect drivers to struggle if they run up that high. They can just get a little bit of pickup on the tyres, and that can cause a little bit of a problem.
It's kind of that sort of seesaw move, isn't it? The down low or in high, down out low. A couple of different driving styles coming to the fray in terms of the track usage. So we'll see how that plays out throughout the night in terms of generating grip.
Yeah, look, it's one of those tracks where you can sort of run a couple of slight different variations on the line. It's sort of not locked to a single position, but generally the line they're all sort of taking is the sort of preferred, the fastest variation of it. But you can sort of see there is slight differences between the drivers. Somebody like Josh Micklemore, for instance, will run a little bit lower than most people. He tends to run a slightly lower line than a lot of the drivers around him, and it's working at the moment. He's putting pressure on Lachlan Okpio, and that's part of the reason he's running that line as well, is to try and put some pressure on Lockie Okpio with that blue and yellow in his wing mirror, just to throw him out a little bit, give him something to watch in the mirror, and hopefully try and distract him a little bit so he can make the pass on him. A little bit further back, we've got Battle of Steve Williams working his way just past Jaden Russell as well. So there are a fair few manoeuvres going on, locked down towards the back end of the pack at the moment. Up at the front, it's not quite as frenetic, but Josh Micklemore is trying his best, and he's got a decent run this time round. He's got right on the bottom there, getting very low, can't quite make it work, but should be able to get it through this corner. Gets out in front of Okpio. Okpio will get better drive off the corner. Micklemore is side by side with him going into the corner, and he's just soaring away at Okpio at the moment, just trying his best to pressure him up there, just get him a little bit too high maybe, just a little scrape against the wall so he can just slide up in front of Lockie. Lockie is doing a great job of defending though and keeping that position still, but Josh Micklemore it's a sort of an eventual situation, and there it is. Micklemore slides right up in front of Okpio, seals his spot.
Yeah, well, from a distance, it's a good thing that Jason Martin's got the black bonnet on the Mitch Motorsport 21 entry, because telling him and Philip Worley apart is nigh on impossible.
Different shades of purple.
Just ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. I just noticed that then as well, but it helps having the black bonnet on. But Martin now pushing hard. He's up 4 positions as well, so he is trying to get the job done here, get up towards the front of the field. Aidan Schultz in the chat has just suggested that Lockie Yu, the number 42, might be the dark horse tonight. Loves a short track. And I was just thinking before when he was racing side by side with Josh Mickelmore, how great it is on these short tracks, just lap after lap of side by side racing. I love it.
Yeah, very much. And look, Jason Martin now just taking a little bit of a nibble towards that as well, as Wally's just slid up in front there. Lachlan is really good on these short tracks. Of course, the ARC champion earlier this season, taking that title out. So he did a really good job on the short tracks, just dominating that series and taking out the victory there. Man on the move at the moment is Michael Skurlock. He's working his way up through the field. 7 positions gained. He's up to P11 now. Just trying to chase down Double D. Dave Douglas, of course, in the 199. Dave Douglas just sitting happily in 10th place, 6 positions gained for himself. Those guys are trying to work their way up to the field to try and catch up to this epic battle between Hamish Gallagher, Lachlan Urquio, Jason Martin, Philip Worley. Looks like Lachlan Urquio has just lost a little bit of speed here, as he is pulling back a little bit. He's just dropped off the back of the Bitch Boys, and he seems to be just struggling a little bit at this stage of the race. So we'll see how this one pays out for him. But Hamish Gallagher in the 13 is getting that move done, and he's going to slide down on the inside of Lachlan, and I would say that move will be coming pretty soon. And just behind them, gets a little bit wild between Josh Mickelmore, Dave Douglas, and I think that might be Darren Stockton, who's gone a lap down, as well as Phil Otto. So a couple of those cars just getting past position. Meanwhile, Josh Mickelmore's working his way up past Edward Foster in the 53. So Mickelmore is on a bit of a charge now. He's decided it's time to go, as we've hit lap 49 of lap 49 of 200. So we've still got 151 remaining.
Just in front of them as well, Neil Pearson has put the pressure on to Ryan Jones and has managed to make his way past as well. So 2 changes for position there, with Pearson moving up into 2nd and Mickelmore moving up into 4th.
Yeah, really nice job and really nice way of working his way through the field at the moment. Neil Pearson, not the best qualifying down there in 11th, but getting up to 2nd place now. He's going to try and catch Joshua Carroll-Walden, as it looks like Lachlan Urquio and Hamish Gallagher have had a bit of a coming together. Big incident between those two, as they've just got across the start-finish line. Urquio has... I'll wait for the replay on this one.
Yeah, I'll just bring it up now.
So he's just bounced up into the wall. So Urquio just got caught up in the wall there, bounced down into Hamish Gallagher. Big spin for Hamish, and then caught him right in the rear again, taking off that rear panel of Hamish Gallagher. And a good job of everybody avoiding the forward-facing Hamish Gallagher there, because he could have got a big hit into the nose.
Yeah, it's disappointing for him, but absolutely a racing incident. It happens, particularly at a track like this. People getting up into the wall. So that's going to cause a flurry of activity down in pit lane. We've got race leader Joshua Carroll-Walden up into the pits. I say up into the pits, down into the pits, along with the rest of the field. So we'll jump through here, get some juice and a fresh set of tyres, as we're a quarter of the way through this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a great opportunity for those guys to come in and get some fuel and tyres to possibly get them close to the end of the race if we run green. It's going to be a bit tight, but they have got the possibility of making it, of course. One of the tricky things in this place, of course, is there are 2 pit lanes as well. So your eyes don't deceive you. There are pit lanes either side of this circuit. So a few cars will be in different pit stalls. So that can sometimes throw you out a little bit. If you get into the wrong pit lane, that can cost you dearly.
Like we were just saying, big fan of the Mitch team paint schemes. They're appealing, got the knack for the American style race series. Yeah, the guys right throughout the field put a lot of effort into their liveries. It's a really good thing to see. Generally running a modified livery each year. So I know that some of the teams are already working on their liveries for next season. So they certainly take it seriously. And also the admins make sure the numbers are, the right feel and look, and it pays off.
That's it. And of course we have the throwback rounds as well. Obviously Darlington this year for the chase, the throwback round, and lots of people running some really nice liveries, and also dicing it up as well, making it with their sponsorships work with a classic livery. It's fantastic to see. It's always nice to see that on the modern cars, seeing somebody actually pay little attention and have that nice little bit of detail on the car. Something we always love seeing. So it is a big difference maker in the series. It just gives that a little bit more feeling to the series as well, because it just makes them look right. Of course, it's strange seeing the wrong style of paint job on a NASCAR. It just doesn't look right. They have to have a certain feel to them.
Yeah, I had a go at making a livery once and gave up because I don't know enough about it to do it properly. We're just having a look at the Aussie Esports livery. A lot of work went into that bad boy. That looks really, really good on the stream with Ruben Phelps. It's got the silver fern on the side there.
That's it, and his teammate Aiden Schultz unfortunately not in the race tonight, but with the kangaroos and the emu on there, it's great to see, and it's an absolutely stunning livery, and great job done by Ruben with that one. He put a lot of effort into that one, and it's again, it's just that thing of it just gives it that extra little bit of character. The pace car has come in. When will JCW drop the loud pedal? He does it now. Gets a really good restart away from Neil Pearson on the low line. JCW pulling away nicely. Ryan Jones trying to get up there quite quickly. He doesn't want to fall back again. He's pushing his way up there, but Neil Pearson knows he needs to make it go now as well. Pearson trying to get the move done on JCW. Can't quite make it happen right here. That's given Ryan Jones the opportunity to get down on the inside. Pearson and Jones getting very close together as they get across the start-finish line, giving themselves a little bit of room to race. Jones is still trying to make that low line work. Can't quite make it happen at the moment. JCW, meanwhile, is defending off Pearson. Now Ryan Jones has fallen back into the grass of Josh Micklemore. Will he be able to take up P3? Not quite this lap.
He's on board now with Neil Pearson as he tries to chase down JCW, who built up a 2.5 second lead before that caution period. So he's going to work again. They're all on fresh rubber. So he's going to have to try and work hard here again to get the number 35 Atari Autosports entry out in front. But Neil Pearson will be wanting to stick with him. So going to be tough out here at the front. Both very, very quick drivers, and of course Ryan Jones and Josh Micklemore fighting out behind them as well.
Yeah, look, battles are going to be happening across the track at the moment, and they are indeed. It's great to see the amount of pressure some of these drivers are putting on each other at the moment. They're definitely going for it, even this early stage in the race. One of those drivers going for it is Andrew Dyson, and he's worked his way nicely up through the field. 14 positions gained at the moment. Barry Neal as well. He's another one to watch out for tonight in the Ayatora racing team. Getting up there into P10, and speaking of liveries that I like, that is definitely one of them. Absolutely love the Ayatora car. Really nice orange on that with the nice New Zealand details, of course, the Kiwi details for those two. But he's having a great run up there just in front of Jaden Russell and Stephen Williams at the moment in the green DPR car, the green M&M. Or Skittle. It's the sour Skittle.
I think we went with Skittles. Yeah, sour Skittles. Yeah,
the sour Skittle of Stevie Dub. Not that he's a sour person. He makes the move down on Barry Neal, getting down underneath the orange car, doing a great job making that move look like a easy one. Definitely not that easy when you're driving it. He has done a great job to get that through. Took that high line in and then jumped down to the low line. Really nice approach by Stevie Dub to get back up in front of Barry Neal there.
Good pictures there as well. Lachlan Urquio just chucking it down underneath Jaden Russell and getting that move done relatively easily as well. So, again, not making it look like it is easier than it is. As, again, Ruben Phelps makes a move now as well. So Jaden Russell's just dropped a couple of places here on the restart. That's allowed Lachlan Urquio to close up onto the back of Barry Neal. Stevie Williams has checked out, but he is on a charge. Look at him go there around the outside of Michael Skurlock. And he's going to probably tie up Dave Douglas pretty quickly as well. The 98 on fire at the moment.
Yeah, he is on an absolute charge, it seems. I think a few people are thinking about that those fuel numbers to get to the end of the race from here. They're sort of having a bit of a ponder about that. And Stevie Dub's just like, no, I'm just going to go for it. And I think he's doing a bit of the old hair moment. He is just being unleashed and letting go on the lap times while everybody else is just easing off a little bit. Like I say, everybody else, not everybody, of course, because those guys at the front are still setting some very quick laps. JCW last time around, quickest man on the track with a 15 flat, and once again getting up to some traffic now though. That's going to start spicing things up a little bit, just getting past Norman Clark and Damon Stockton. JCW just having to weave his way through the traffic. Ryan Jones just getting caught up there a little bit as well. Foster now working his way through the traffic too. Neil Pearson did a great job of traffic management there as well. He just sliced his way through those cars, getting right back onto JCW's rear end.
Yeah, Ryan Jones managing to get the job done there. Edward Foster just making his way underneath Damon Stockton as well. So They've got a little bit of work to do there, but getting it done efficiently. Jones was right up behind Neil Pearson before they went into that traffic. That gap's just spread out a little bit now, 3/10, so he'll catch that back up, and he was already putting pressure on it. JCW checking out again at the front, half a second in front as we stand.
Yeah, he's got some good pace tonight, JCW. He seems to really be on it here. Setting great lap times and just very consistent as well with the car placement, just able to get that car working where he wants it to work. That Natari car, Natari number 35, is looking very solid out there tonight. Same as the 53 as well, a little bit of damage on the front. We saw a little bit of contact between himself and Ryan Jones earlier on. So just a little bit of rubbing. Or was it Wally? I think it was Wally, actually.
Yeah.
Pull up Wally. So just that little bit of rubbing between those two, but no major damage on those cars. So just a little bit tattered, sorry. So that's not the end of the night for those guys.
Certainly hasn't impacted on the pace, that's for sure. So Foster and Jones and Pearson all doing almost identical lap times the last time around, but Joshua Carroll-Walden faster than the lot. So he's just opening that gap up ever further. It's out to 3/4 of a second now, and he'll be happy with that.
Another car on a bit of a charge is Michael Skurlock. He's flying his way through the field at the moment, just getting onto the back of Stevie Dub. So the 350 getting onto the back of the 98. So watch out for the Welsh Wonder trying to work his way through the field at the moment and trying to get up into a little bit of a better position. Of course, Skurlock part of the chase, of course, so he's going to want to get a good finish at the moment. He's got a lot of his rivals in the top 5. The only driver not in the chase in the top 5 is in the top 6, I should say, is Ryan Jones. So he's the sort of fly in the ointment at the moment for the chase part of the championship. But Ryan Jones is out there to try and win races, so he's got no constrictions about championships and things like that. He's out there to have some fun and actually get the race wins as well. So people like Skurlock, Dyson, they need to have a good result. Same as Luke Trahar and Danny G as well. They're looking for those good performances tonight to keep their chases alive. At the moment, the lowest chase driver is Hamish Gallagher. After that incident, he's a lap down at the moment, and he's just a position away from Matty Ray, of course, another chase driver.
Yeah, probably really wants to try and make his way past Damon Stockton, Hamish Gallagher, if he can, because that'll mean that he'll be the highest placed if there is a caution, so he can get that lucky dog, get back onto the lead lap, and you just never know what can happen. Get a couple of cautions in a row, might play out in his favour, and he can resurrect his evening.
Yeah, he has to work his way past Stockton and now Matty Ray, so Matty Ray just falling back a lap already, down in 23rd position, so the leaders are setting an absolute sizzling pace at the moment. They are really getting some good runs out there.
Jones into the wall.
Just that little tag for Jones again. He's really running it on the ragged edge up there, just running it so close to the wall. You can see
that was a big hit.
He's almost using the Gran Turismo method of the old wall rider. But yeah, he's just getting it right on that wall and just curving it around with that. Just sometimes they try for the air pocket against the wall. He's just using the actual the concrete pocket and making that one work for himself at the moment. But up the front, we've got Neil Pearson making a move. Oh, we got a car round.
Wow.
Joshua Carroll-Walden's gone round with that as well. JCW has to take avoiding action for that one.
Will he retain the lead?
I don't know, because I don't know when the caution came out. That was so sketchy there. Neil Pearson, just the seas parted for him there. JCW just had nowhere to go. He managed to slide that car up perfectly to avoid major damage. Watch this from JCW. That was a moment of that was a brown alert moment for sure for Joshua Carroll-Walden. Look at him. He's seen what's going to happen. He's just slid the car around.
Impressive.
Managed to just Tokyo drift it past Stockton there. He does get a little bit of damage, but nothing major there for Joshua Carroll-Walden. That was a lucky escape.
Let's go back and have a look at that from the roof of Joshua Carroll-Walden. Oh, as it's decided that it doesn't want to do that, so we won't. Oh, and here we go again.
Good old technical difficulties. It would not be the same without them.
It's just amazing that it does this. It seems to do this every night at the moment. Just disappears off the screen, doesn't want to play.
So it looks like that incident happened with Paul Jackson and Stockton. Paul Jackson just running up the track a little bit, getting caught up into Stockton. And that's what's caused that huge incident in front of the leaders. And, sorry, I have to go BBC radio commentator's voice. It looks like Paul Jackson's run up in front of Damien Stockton there. And that's what's caused that incident there. So that's the catalyst for that accident. But Joshua Carroll-Walden doing a fantastic job to not actually sort of cause more damage. That was a super save.
Well, there we go. We're back. Have a look at that. Absolutely.
The live pictures.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea why it does that. But anyway, technology is a fickle monster.
So we've had a few cars come into pit lane as well. So a few cars stayed out there. So Ryan Jones, Dave Douglas, Andrew Dyson, Jaden Russell stayed out there, as well as Justin Witcher. Looks like Stephen Williams is the first guy from pit lane. Neil Pearson came in as well. So quite a few drivers deciding to come into pit lane and do some stops there. I'm wondering if Stephen Williams maybe only took some fuel, because he was quite quick in the pit lane. I'm just going back to have a little bit of a look-see at what happened in pit lane, so I'll let you know exactly what happened there. No, Stephen Williams actually missed. I think Stephen Williams went in the wrong pit lane.
I was about to say, I think he might have missed his box.
Yeah, so that's what's happened to Stevie Dub, I think, is he's just gone in either the wrong pit lane or completely missed the box. So he's just gone for a bit of a trip through pit lane, just to make sure that our timing and scoring is confused.
Yeah, because it didn't register as a stop for him at all, but did register him in pit lane for 20 seconds. So he's just done the old trundle through. So that's going to put a big disadvantage on his evening. Everyone else who has pitted will be able to run from here to the end if it stays green.
Well, they will be able to do it. It's going to be touch and go for people like Ryan Jones, Dave Douglas, Jaden Russell, and of course Stephen Williams as well, and Justin Witcher. They're going to have a tough one. They've also got to start on some slightly older tyres that have done around about 38 laps as well. So, got to be careful on the restart not to spin up those tyres. The good thing for them though, is they now have an extra set of tyres for the end of the race. So if we get another couple of cautions here, they could be looking good. The pace car lights have gone out. Of course, you're limited to 4 sets of tyres tonight. Ryan Jones gets away, manages to launch that car off the corner very well on those old tyres. Really good restart for him. Same with Daiso as well, and Dave Douglas. All 3 of those drivers getting away. Good job from them. But those fresh tyred cars should have a little bit of an advantage. It's not usually a huge difference here, especially with those few laps on the tyres. Sorry, excuse me. So don't expect to see a big difference as Ryan Jones up into the wall again. Relatively big hit there on the right front. That's going to give Dave Douglas a bit of a run here, and I think Dave Douglas in the 199 might actually make a bit of a move on Ryan Jones. Might see that one soon. Neil Pearson on an absolute flyer though. Look at Pearson already up there behind Ryan Jones and Dave Douglas. So Pearson in the red Skittle in front of the orange Skittle of Andrew Dyson. The DPR Skittles team are doing a great job, of course, running their way up the field. And Neil Pearson is, of course, on fresh tyres. So he has got a big advantage right here. You can see Ryan Jones, again, just getting up into the wall. And this is going to give Pearson the opportunity. Pearson's just got to get underneath here. And he's going to get sort of blocked in a little bit with Dave Douglas as well. Dave Douglas is going to keep it to that low line. Ryan Jones up into the wall again. That's going to give Pearson the opportunity. Pearson's going to get a good drive off here. They're going to go 3 wide into the corner. And he's going to ease off. Ryan Jones falls back a tiny bit. Dave Douglas manages to keep the nose in front of Neil Pearson at the moment, but Pearson should have the grip to get underneath him, and he does. Pearson takes the lead of the race from Dave Douglas. Great drive there from Pearson. 3 wide here at Bristol. That's something you don't want to see too often. Bit scary. Look at Joshua Carroll-Walden as well. He's working his way up. He's right behind Dave Douglas at the moment. JCW, we know he's got pace in that car. Obviously has a little bit of damage now as well. Right on the outside of Dave Douglas there. No fear shown from Joshua Carroll-Walden. Just absolutely sails it past Dave Douglas. And he's going to try and catch up to Neil Pearson now because he wants to get that lead back. That is for certain. Obviously not too much damage on JCW's car. That's good news.
Yeah, no, ever so slight damage on the front of it there, but you actually struggle to see it. It's just on the right-hand front corner there, but not significant whatsoever. It won't have affected the steering or anything. Did a great job to avoid that, jumping on the anchors and controlling the 35 entry, and he's now hassling Neil Pearson.
The thing we want to look at right now is just a bit further back. Ryan Jones is become a little bit of a cork in the bottle. A few cars getting past him as well, but there is a whole swarm of angry cars all around him at the moment, trying to get past him, up, under, over him, round him, under him, through him. Doesn't matter. They're going to try it. And you can see there, they are just absolutely flying through at the moment. So those old tyre gambles not paying off. Lachlan Urquhart having a bit of a blink in front of them. Hopefully that stabilises. You do not want to have a connectivity issue here at Bristol. It's a bit scary. Up at the front though, JCW's right on the back of Neil Pearson. Now the battle for the front is very much on. We need about 400 different cameras right now to try and catch all the action because it is frenetic out there.
Yeah, absolutely. JCW doing a ripping job here. He'll be disappointed, is the polite word, with he just gets into the wall a little bit there, but he'll be disappointed with what happened in front of him. And he'll be focusing now on getting back into the lead as he comes up on the back of the 231 entry of Paul Jackson, who just quite politely stands to the side and lets him through.
Yeah, look, off the early incident, I think Jackson just be taking it a little bit easy now. He's 3 laps down in this race, so he's just got to resettle, get things redone in his head, have a little bit of talk to himself, and just get himself back into the swing and back into the focus of the track. And that's something that is tricky to do sometimes, but you can do it. Meanwhile, Michael Skurlock making a move on Dave Douglas, trying to get up past Josh Mickelmore as well. So this battle is also very much on. You can see Ruben Phelps in the background there too. So this is an absolutely fantastic battle going on at the moment. We've got 93 laps remaining here at Bristol with some fantastic racing action going on. The battling is definitely heating up on track.
There's that 3 wide, Ryan Jones, Luke Trahere and Matt Hunter just behind this one as well. So Ryan Jones is free falling down through the field. He's going to have to pull in and get some tyres on that. He won't particularly want to do it under green though, because he will go down a lap, but he's really struggling at the moment for pace. Might happen anyway, so keep an eye on what happens there. Andrew Dyson currently he is doing the same thing, so he's just up here on the high line. Scott Griffiths just gone past him as well, so bit of a challenge for those who didn't pit. They're really struggling on the tyres that are over 50 laps old now.
Yeah, they definitely are. Look, almost 60 laps on those tyres now. Dave Douglas, the highest of those runners in P11 at the moment. He's kind of making it work as it stands. He's managed to build up a fairly decent gap as well for Dave Douglas, so he could make this one work out a little bit better than some of the others. Meanwhile, there's a great battle going on between Lachlan Urquhart and Jason Martin a little bit further down the field. The 42 and 21 battling it out, and the 53 of Edward Foster sitting in behind there, with the battle between Mickelmore and Skurlock going on too. So it's all across the field at the moment with fights going on for positions. I've really got to say, up the front is still very tight as well, as Jason Martin tries the inside of Lachlan Urquhart. Tries for that run. Urquhart tries to pinch him down a little bit, squeezes him a little bit, but Martin is a wily old veteran. He's going to try his best to keep on that low line. He is getting a good pace out of that car at the moment. Will he make this move work? Got to say, it's more of a when rather than an if for Jason Martin here. He's got really good pace through the mid-corner, but JCW is just able to take better run off the corner. With this traffic, though, this could make a difference here as they get past Justin Witcher. 3 wide into the corner. Oof. Jason Martin somehow making that one work. Witcher just getting so very close there. That was a scary moment for sure. And I think Oakio's just had to lift off slightly, and that's going to give Jason Martin the position.
Yeah, very, very close to the back of the 53 entry there as well. So a little bit of a hold of the breath moment. But they all got through. But they're still coming up on some more traffic. Stephen Williams, believe it or not, is going to go a lap down. He ran early on the tyres, and he's burnt them out.
Remember, he is on those old tyres
as well. He is on old tyres, yeah.
So yeah, he came through pit lane, but he didn't have the chance to actually swap the tyres. So that's really costing him now. He's just getting checked up now and just falling back and back and back. So that's really hurt his race immensely. Meanwhile, up the front, people it's not hurting is Neil Pearson and Joshua Carroll Walden. They are still fighting it out for the lead. A little bit of a gap now over JCW. Neil Pearson's got a little bit of breathing room as it stands, as he comes up behind Maddie Raymond here. Just trying to get through across around the outside, and he's going to make that one work out for himself. But this is where it starts to get very, very messy. And you can see Ryan Jones now, just the first car. He's now going to go a lap down as Neil Pearson just dives down the inside. Not too long ago, we were talking about these two battling it for position, and now Neil Pearson is lapping Ryan Jones. That gamble to stay out on old tyres really did not pay off.
Yeah, how the fortunes have changed. Neil Pearson up 10 positions. Barry Neal, who we haven't mentioned too much, is currently in 4th position, up 22 positions. So he's done a ripping job to move from 26th up into 4th. And he's just jogging on the spot now. He's in a good little gap. And so he's just able to maintain things here as we're in that sort of that holding phase of the race before we get into sort of that final 50 or so laps. So he's in a good place here.
Look at Joshua Carroll-Bolden, though. He has got Philip Woolley all over the back of him right now. The purple DPR car is putting the pressure on JCW as it stands, and you can see just behind him, that's Barry Neal in the Aotora car. So he has really worked out well, and Jason Mudd and Edward Foster and Skirley all catching up to this group as well. So looks like maybe JCW is just struggling a little bit for pace now. He's just dropped off by around about a second and a half over Neil Pearson. Falling back a little bit as Barry Neal makes a move on Wally there. Nice move by Barry Neal there to get it done on Philip Wally. Very slick little move there down the inside.
Keeps it nice and clean too, so he's going to be now the one challenging Joshua Carroll-Walden for 2nd place.
And you've got to say, it looks like with that pace in the 22, he's going to make that pretty quick. The 35 looks to be dropping off a little bit now and just struggling a tad. And maybe there's a little bit more damage than we can see, and he might just be damaging the front tyres a little bit more than he wants to. And now he's just struggling for pace as he loses front grip. A few times I've seen JCW get very close to the wall. It just looks like he's just a little bit too... That car is a little bit too tight at the moment. It's just not turning how he wants it to. Can't get it turning through the corners, and he's just struggling a little bit. So I'm wondering if that damage has just started affecting him as Wally's going to get through. And then you can see behind JCW right now is Jason Martin as well, the other purple machine, also working its way up through the field. So those guys are on an absolute fly. But Barry Neal's got some really good pace at the moment. He is a couple of tenths quicker than Neil Pearson, who has pulled out a bit of a gap, but he has got some traffic to deal with as well, and I think that might be why he's lost a few positions. Just passing his teammate of Andrew Dyson and Jaden Russell as well. Jaden Russell and Dyson having a battle out on track at the moment, and that's costing Barry Neal quite a lot of time because he's stuck behind those two cars, and I think that's what happened to Neil Pearson as well. So that battle is costing the leaders time. Of course, no blue flags in oval racing. Blue flags, what are they? We don't think about those things. If you're racing, you're racing, and the leader's job is to find a way past you. They have to pass you on merit sometimes, and that's what those guys are going to have to do. They're going to get corked up right behind this battle, though, as Justin Witcher is going to get caught up in there as well. Justin Witcher pulling down to the inside, I think, there, just to let that big group pass. And he does indeed, and that's given Barry Neal the opportunity to just slide his way past Jaden Russell there as well. So this is going to give Barry Neal the opportunity to try and chase down Neil Pearson as well. So that battle really costing those guys a lot of time. Neil Pearson managed to pull out about 1.5 seconds, so about 1.25 second gap over the rest of the field. He did fall back a fair bit when he got caught up with those battling cars.
Yeah, absolutely. So I need to think about here. Jason Martin's got past Joshua Carroll-Walden as well, so he's now fighting with Philip Worley just behind these two here. You can see them there. It's a punch out of the Purple Warriors. Jason Martin, he's just got some pace now at the moment, hasn't Jason? He's lapping faster than our race leader.
Yeah, I think Jason's just been sitting there and just almost sandbagging a little bit, just not quite pushing it as hard as he needs to. Waiting for his moment as Stephen Williams has gone round on the infield. Looks like we might get away with that. We might not get a caution out. So Stevie Dubb's getting that car back underway. I'll try and figure out what happened there. Looks like he's actually made contact with Urquio, just up into the wall slightly. Urquio maybe just made a little bit of contact with him. Just go back to have a little bit of a look at that.
There it is on screen there now, yeah. It just looks like he's slowed up a bit. Maybe missed a gear. Just slowed up, and Lachlan just tagged the back of the car there, so little bit of a weird one.
I think it was just Okio was just carrying a little bit more speed out of the corner. It wasn't much difference in speeds, but Okio just caught the wrong part of the car. Good save by Stephen Williams there. Just put a little bit of just shifted the weight on that rear axle, and it just caused him just to slide a little bit. So that was it. But right now, Barry Neal is reeling in Pearson. He is absolutely on the fly at the moment. The Kiwi is coming and trying to make the newly engaged Neil Pearson pay for leading this race. So big congratulations to Pearson there on his engagement. But Barry Neal has got a great amount of speed at the moment, and he is really flying up behind Pearson.
He is indeed. Just close that gap down from just over a second to within 2/10 now. You can see he's closing in there. Higlo agrees with you that Neil really is reeling in at Neil Pearson. And he's going to make a challenge here for the lead of this race.
He's taking that low line, trying to make it work for himself. Doesn't quite get it that time round, but it's a statement of intent there. So he is really trying to force that position. You can see Pearson going really low to defend that spot. Now that's going to cost them both speed. So that's going to be good news for somebody like Philip Wally and Jason Martin, because it's going to slow both of them down a little bit as they battle it out for the lead of this race. So after Pearson came down quite low, you're going to sort of think, Barry Neal might think about trying to take that high line round next time. So he's going to go low again. Will Pearson try and close the door? Doesn't quite have enough of the car in front this time. They're going to be side by side going down the back straight. Barry Neal doesn't quite get the drive off the corner on the low line again. It's these side by side, so very close to each other each time round. Barry Neal is really putting on the pressure at the moment, and you can see just how much time it's costing them as those two purple cars catch up to them. Meanwhile, former race leader Joshua Carroll-Walden has fallen down a little bit. He's now battling it out with Josh Micklemore and Edward Foster, but we'll keep our eyes on the front, I think, because this battle is the one that might be for the lead at the moment. And you can see that Neal is really trying to get this one working. He's really trying for that low line, but can't quite capitalise on it at the moment. But the big gainers here are going to be Wally and Martin.
Yeah, Martin putting the pressure on Wally as well. Just dropped off a little bit as it looks like we're about to have a change for the lead. No, just still not quite able to get it done. And now lap traffic, Lachlan Urquio. Currently running P15. He's about to get involved here. They're going to get by quickly, they will.
Yeah, look, Urquio just keeping to that low line just costs Barry Neal a lot of time there, because Neal just could not keep it side by side there. And that's forced him back a little bit, and that's going to give Philip Wally the opportunity to try and make a little bit of a move. Barry Neal right back on it, though. Next car could cost Neil Pearson, though, because we've got cars that are starting to battle a little bit. I think it's going to be Justin Witcher again, just getting past there down the inside. Justin Witcher just steadily going along at the moment, up there in P22.
Gelato as well.
The pace of these front runners is just absolutely on top of everything. They've passed a few cars multiple times now and are really on it at the moment. Barry Neal doing a great job of catching up to Pearson. He's once again all over the tail of him. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, Edward Foster's trying his best to get past his teammate of Joshua Carroll-Walden. Josh Micklemore's managed it, though. Micklemore has managed to get past JCW, getting through there. And Michael Skurlock is now the one that's on the move. He's catching up to Jason Martin, Philip Worley, and Neil Pearson and Barry Neal as well. So one to watch out for is going to be Scully. He's going to be coming up soon, as once again Barry Neal tries for that low line move. Can't quite make it work, but will he make it this time round? Gets a good run into the corner. Just needs to get the run off the corner. Can't quite make it work there. They're still side by side. Barry Neal's going to go in side by side with Neil Pearson this time. He's got the car just slightly in front of them. There's a little tiny tap between them. Nothing at all there. If there was no tap, then you could not fit a cigarette paper between those two cars because it was so close. Great driving awareness by both those drivers, but this has given Jason Martin the opportunity. Look at Martin and Worley sitting at the back there like sharks smelling blood at the moment. They are there to pick up any scraps they can and make the move if anyone makes a mistake.
Absolutely. Who would have thought right now we'd be 4 cars deep in the lead pack. 156 in. Gale wants another caution just to get everyone out on new tyres for a good strong run to the finish. Would make things interesting.
Well, you say four cars strong.
Yeah, I
in
was
the top
about to
pack.
say.
It's 5 cars now.
It is
As
now.
Michael Skurlock makes his way onto the back of it.
It's going to get very, very interesting very, very quickly. Pearson's done a great job defending the lead here from Barry Neal, who was flying when he got up onto the back of Pearson. So just a mixture of the lap traffic and some good driving from Neil Pearson keeping him out the front.
Yeah, and a nice defensive work as well from Philip Worley as well in the other DPR car. Neil Pearson's teammate, of course. He's doing his best to keep Jason Martin behind in 4th position, but he makes a little bit of a mistake, and this could be Martin's chance. Meanwhile, Barry Neal is seeing his opportunity as well. Neal getting a nice run on the bottom. Pearson into the wall. They make contact. Slide contact between Neal and Pearson right there. Neal getting up into the wall there. Bit of contact, little bit of a bash there. They managed just to save it, and that actually hurt Jason Martin, who was on a great charge, and it's actually helped Philip Worley, who's going to slide up into P2 right here. Will he make this one work? Can Barry Neal defend off Philip Worley? Now, he needs to defend from his teammate, because if Worley gets past, he can play tail gunner for Neil Pearson. You can see Skurley sitting in there up on that high line as well. Barry Neal needs to just slide up in front of Worley to block him off at the moment. It's almost got to be a double move. You can see Pearson sitting in the middle of the track to help his teammate. Worley might even get past here. Worley up on that high side, but this is giving Skurlock the opportunity as well. Jason Martin can see what is happening as Michael Skurlock makes a bit of a run there. He can't quite make it happen. Almost does, but Skurley is getting through, and Skurley makes it through. He makes it past Neil Pearson. Michael Skurlock up past Pearson. Philip Worley in the lead. Now we're going to see Skurley get on that low line with Jason Martin. This battle has really heated up.
Yeah, absolutely. Barry Neal there got checked up as well. He lost a whole heap of pace and it slowed him right down. Neil Pearson's gone with him there, the cause of that checkup. So a full change for position here now. We've got Worley, Skurlock and Martin at the front. Great driving from Skurley there to get himself back up into this pack and then to execute when the opportunity presented itself.
The ultimate opportunist there, Michael Skurlock, making that move perfectly work. That was a beautiful, beautiful positioning. And Jason Martin just saw what Skurley was doing and was like, yep, I'm going to have a bit of that. Jumps in right behind Michael Skurlock and makes that move work perfectly. Philip Worley is in the lead of this race, though. He's got a very fast charge in Michael Skurlock to try and defend against, and of course Jason Martin as well. Two drivers you don't want to see in your mirrors at the best of times, because you know it's going to be a hard night when those two are racing you. But Worley is doing a good job at the moment. Skurley trying down the inside this time. He has to be careful of Jason Martin, though, because Martin will close that gap on Philip Worley and leave Skurley out to dry as well. So these cars are all battling for position. Meanwhile, Josh Micklemore is working his way up. Josh Micklemore is on the back of this pack right now. Jason Martin makes contact with the wall. Slight little tag on the wall there for Jason Martin, as Barry Neal and Neil Pearson get into each other as well, and that's given Josh Micklemore the opportunity to get past Neil Pearson. Little touch between those two. They're still going fine, though.
Pearson into pit lane. So I was just going to mention, Carl, that I was had my eye on Josh Micklemore, and I was watching him, and he was coming, and he's going to get back up and get onto the back of this lead pack as Jason Martin makes a challenge for the lead of this race now. He's managed to get by Michael Skurlock, and he's actually going to go through here. He should be able to close this out.
And importantly, that was a drive-through penalty for Pearson. Pearson has got 12 instant points there. So we were talking about instant points earlier on, and Pearson has fallen afoul for them. So he's had to take a drive-through penalty, and that's going to cost him dearly. So he's going to be hoping for a caution here to get himself back on the lead lap. But Jason Martin is now proving who has the best purple car, trying to at least, because Philip Worley is not letting this one go. The 2-3-3 on the 21 at the moment, both battling it out. Michael Skurlock's just dropped off a little bit, letting these guys battle it out for a little bit of time, and then he'll get back into this one.
There he goes. Martin closes it out.
Great job there, Jason Martin. Meanwhile, Barry Neal, Josh Micklemore battling it out with each other, and they have got Neil Pearson right in front of them, who's just rejoined the track after going through pit lane. So Barry Neal will probably want to just keep an eye out on that one. We do know, one of the things about NASCAR is sometimes drivers have a little bit of the red mist descend and may make a little bit of a a moment of just tapping a car just to say they're a little bit displeased. So that might be one to watch out for later in this race. Meanwhile, Skurlock is making a move on Worley as well. Skurley getting down underneath Philip Worley makes that move done very well. So really nice job from Skurlock and Worley. That battle is ongoing. Meanwhile, the ANZCAR car of Barry Neal has not managed to get past Pearson. That was his teammate, sorry. So that was his teammate getting through. Neil Pearson just in front of him still. So Jackson through. Pearson and Barry Neal get into each other. And there it is. There is the paycheck for Barry Neal. That is a big bite out of the wall. And that's going to cost Barry Neal a lot of time there.
Right-hand front corner heavily damaged. And another 4 incident points there for Neil Pearson. So I don't know when the re-application comes, whether it's just outright cull. Is there another
17?
17.
So if you hit 17, that's it. You're disqualified. So yeah, that's if he gets another 1 or 2 incident points, that's it. You might see Barry Neal disqualified. So,
Neil Pearson.
Not
all that loved in the chat. That little bit of activity there, I can tell you. So we'll see what happens about that one maybe after the race, if anything. It's Paul Drady and Riley Curtis not fans of that type of activity.
No, that was definitely a payback manoeuvre if I've ever seen one. Usually drivers are a little bit more subtle with that kind of thing. It's one of the things about stock car racing is if you get into somebody in the night, you can usually expect them to come back at you at some stage. But most of the time, they're pretty subtle about it, let's say. Not all the time, but most of the time they're a little bit more subtle. That was definitely a proper check there, and very much a bit of payback on the track.
Absolutely. Chat's just getting into it. The Fosters are all okay with it because that's NASCAR, Robbins Racing. I love it. Anyway, we've taken ourselves away from what is now Jason Martin out in front by 2.3 seconds and looking strong.
Back to his teammate Josh Micklemore, who's making a move on Philip Worley now. Josh Micklemore and Worley have been battling it out for lap after lap after lap, but finally Micklemore makes the move. Meanwhile, Skurley is sitting in second place. Michael Skurlock making up 16 positions in this race, up into P2 at the moment. We've only got 15 laps remaining, Stuart.
Yeah, it's flown by, Carl. While talking about what's going on, 20 laps go by because of the shortness of the track, of course, but no, what a cracking run here from Jason Martin as he disappears off the screen there with the camera. Sorry, guys, just took my finger off the trigger for a second there. And he's getting down again. He's in heavy traffic here. So he's lucky he's got that lead because he can pick when and where he makes his way through as he gets right up behind Ruben Phelps now as well. So the question is now, as Heigl has just posted in the chat as well, is that can Josh Micklemore now close up onto Skurlock, get past him for a 1-2 finish? Another strong finish would be for Mitch Motorsport, having done the lockout last round.
To answer that, I'd say jump to the back rear quarter panel of Michael Skurlock and you'll soon find out, because yes, there is a blue and yellow Mitch Motorsport car right on the tail of the Buckwild Skurlocking car, of course. Skurlocking over on Twitch for Mr. Skurley's Twitch channel. But Josh Micklemore is absolutely flying, beasting or not. He is really having a good run tonight as well, catching up to Michael Skurlock, and is going to be trying to make that pass position. Got to say, it's got to be a little bit easier said than done sometimes, because Skurley is a hard racer. Watch these two battle it out, but this is going to be good news for Jason Martin, who's going to build up almost a 3-second lead now in front.
Yeah, Dave Douglas is doing well on old tyres. Riley Curtis has just pointed out as well. He's back up inside the top 10. And it looks like there Josh Micklemore has done that. He's closed out. So at the moment it is a Mitch Motorsport 1-2.
Contact. Luke Traher tried to make a move on Foster. He saw an opportunity as Foster was trying to get past Neil Pearson. Luke Traher just gets a little bit of contact into Pearson and uses Pearson as a braking point. Luke Trahare's got a great run at the final stages of this race as well. So watch this battle going on. Also, Joshua Carroll-Walden, former race leader, has just fallen back a little bit. So Dave Douglas moving up into the top 9 now. So he's in 9th position on those old tyres, doing a great job of eking that car around, doing a very nice save on that one. So that strategy not completely paying off for him, but it is working. But the battle is between Foster and Trahare at the moment. Those two are really, really nose to tail. You can see Trahare has got a lot more speed than Foster, it looks like, at this stage of the race. Really doing a great job catching up to him and really putting on the pressure of Edward Foster. See the 43 getting down the inside. Nightcall racing on Natari there, side by side as they go through the corner. It's going to be Luke Trahare's going to get a good run off here. Foster trying their best to make a little bit of contact. Foster up into the wall. Contact again, rubbing away these two are. That is the kind of racing we love. These two are very much rubbing away. But I think Trahare's got it here. Trahare seems to have a little bit more speed, and he does slide up in front of Foster. Very, very nicely done. Great bit of racing there between all involved. And now there are cars on much fresher tyres flying their way past as a few people have come into pit lane to get some fresh tyres. And those guys are absolutely flying out there. You can see the difference being made. But Jason Martin still in the lead. Josh Micklemore in second. Michael Skurlock in third. He's got Philip Wally all over the back of him at the moment for that position. Will Wally be able to make that pass in the 2-3-3? Trying his best to. Can't quite make it happen at the moment. But watch out for Danny G as well. Sitting in 5th place. He's gained 15 positions in this race in the 3rd Mitch Motorsport car. Danny G, the 24. The blue entry of the Mitch Motorsport now. The very light blue and white colouring. Is on a bit of a flyer and catching up to these guys, but there are only 2 laps remaining. Not much time for him to make a move. It's going to be tricky for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's just got Phelps in front of him there. He's just held him up a little bit. That's given Skurlock a break and just giving him that small gap that he needs. And it's going to be very, very tough from here for Philip Wally to get it done as we get the white flag out on track. And it is going to be Jason Martin, who's now about to go past Dave Douglas, position 9. So he has had a cracker. And he's about to go through and take out the win.
Sorry, Stuart, as he's taking the win, as soon as he takes that checkered flag, jump back to Danny G in the 24. Danny G making a move. Danny G getting past Skurlock and Wally on this final lap. Danny G is going to move it up.
Oh, my.
In 3rd position for a Mitch Motorsport. 1, 2, 3 at the end.
My goodness me. 2nd lockout for Mitch Motorsport. We didn't even talk about Danny G. He's just come from nowhere. 17 positions.
Sneaking his way through the field there. That was a drive and a half for Danny G. Going unnoticed through most of that race and just sneaking it up there at the end. Danny G... fresher tyres as well. So I think Danny G, he done 3 stops on my chart. So
yeah, he has. Sure I think that might have picked up him going into pit lane just now.
Yeah. But yeah, great run from Danny G there. Really, really nice run from him to make his way up into P3 and lock it out for Mitch Motorsport. That was a last minute deal for that team there. But Jason Martin taking the victory. What a win for him. The really nice drive from P12 to 1st. Well deserved for Jason Martin. And look at how clean that car is as well. Barely a scratch on it. Once again, showing that he can just get it home without too much trouble. Although he did have to use 2 sets of tyres tonight. So that does go against him.
Big thing as well here. Got listed that Neil Pearson disqualified.
Yes. So I did just notice that.
That has big
I was going to mention that one. So Neil Pearson DQ for the race. So he must have hit the cap on instant points because I saw him disconnect a little bit earlier. But unfortunately, Danny G was too busy getting on the highlight reel for me to actually mention that one. But yes, that is going to have huge implications for the chase because he was right up there. Neil Pearson was sitting in 2nd position, just 1 point behind the winner, Jason Martin. So that is the perfect scenario for Jason Martin tonight.
Dave Douglas just posted up in the race chat that his right-hand front tyre, of course he didn't stop, he only did the one stop. Right-hand front tyre had 15% tread remaining at the end of the race. 15% is still some percentage. I'm not sure what he's complaining about.
plenty. He just likes to moan, Mr. Douglas, of course. Just whinging away there. That could have gone for another 50 laps or so. So yeah, he was fine. Nothing to worry about there. No, epic save there from Dave Douglas. Really nicely done. One of the only cars to make that single stop really work out. Jaden Russell also doing a good job on that single stop strategy. He finished in P12. So it wasn't not necessarily a terrible strategy, but it did seem like that pit stop in the middle of the race was the thing that won it out. And again, won it out for a single team. Once again in the chase is another team lockout for Mitch Motorsport. Congratulations, all three of you.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. What a bloody race.
Danny,
Hell yeah.
Danny G, I've just got to say, mate, I finished the race with a massive smile on my face. I'm not sure that we mentioned you at all during the stream, and you've just popped up at the end there in third. What a drive.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome, actually. Pretty proud of that.
Yeah, it was very much a moment of, I think with about 5 laps to go, I said, watch out for Danny G. He's coming close behind Wally and Scully. He might be able to challenge for those positions. And then next thing, we cut back to you, and you're getting past both of them on the final lap, getting the 3rd position in the race.
Brilliant.
How did you do that?
I was just patient all race. I mean, I made a mistake early. I didn't mean to, but on the warm-up, my pit stall was on the backstretch, and because a couple of people didn't make the field, it accelerated or it jumped me to the front stretch, so I completely missed my pit box the first lap. I went from 12th, I think, all the way back down to the rear of the field and had to do it all again. But no, I just try to be patient and keep my nose clean. It is Bristol, and just sort of when I saw people battling, you just sort of stay off them a little bit and save your tyres until you can get a run on them, and it seemed to work towards the end.
Well, it very much did work there, because, yeah, as you said, you made your way from not a desirable starting position right up to the front there to lock out another Mitch 1, 2, 3. Again, so far in the chase, it's been a team lockouts, hasn't it, really? It's something special so far. Obviously, it was a bit chaotic out there tonight, but you look like you've kept your car pretty clean throughout all of that.
Yeah, I think I might have made contact with a couple of people, just little rubs, but I finished with a 0x, so nothing too bad. I don't think I hit the wall. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with what happened.
No, congratulations on the P3, and obviously this is pretty good news for the chase as well.
Yeah, that should be some decent points for me, and especially for this team. My first 1, 2, 3 finish in the Cup Series. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Well done, boys.
No, congratulations again, Danny. Any personal shout-outs you want to give tonight?
Yeah, just the team, Josh, Jace, Hamish, and Bob King for the paint, and yeah, you guys for the broadcast and everything that happens.
Not a problem. Yeah, we'll save the full sponsorship shout-out for the end, because, as much as we love repetition here, I mean, we don't want your sponsors getting too much love. Next up, we will head to the one-eyed man himself, the pirate, Mr. Josh Micklemore. Congratulations on that PT, mate.
Yeah, cheers, guys. I've got about half an eye now. It's not too bad, but yeah, last night it was tough.
1.5 eyes. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you'll be right. Congratulations on that P2 finish. That battling at the end looked pretty full on.
Oh yeah, it was. Mate, it was battling all race long. Like me and Edward far out. There was like it's either hitting Edward or the wall or nothing. We had a few little rubs and that, but that wasn't too crazy and kept it off the wall. Very close, door to door, literally banging action there. And yeah, hats off to everyone. At least everyone that I was racing with. It was all hard and clean racing, so that's what you want to see, especially on the stream as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something I wanted to mention, because we did see you having some really good rubbing and racing there, just very much next to each other, side by side, and no real big sort of impacts or spinning anyone off, things like that. How hard is it to actually race in that situation?
Yeah, it takes I've been doing it a little while, I guess, but it takes a bit of skill and knack to, in my opinion, anyway, to and have trust in the other guys that you're racing with, that they'll do this similar sort of thing, like racing hard and clean sort of thing. Especially with everyone that we've been racing with for myself, the last 3 years, you sort of know who you're racing with and how they race, sort of thing, and you can sort of get so close to them and get that sort of good racing out of them, because I trust them and their skill with what they go do, and they sort of trust me, and that's allowing us to race like we are. So, it takes a bit of time and racing against each other, but once you get that trust and racecraft there, you can do it for sure.
Congratulations on P2 tonight, Joshy. And of course, for yourself, obviously, same question as I asked Danny. This is going to be some good points for the chase.
Yeah, like I said, BK Designs 31 Chevy had a bad run at Darlington, so we either need to have some really, really good finishes or a few wins in this chase to get us back up there, and sort of what we've sort of been doing as a team collectively. So.
Well, you're very much doing the right thing. So obviously no shout out to bees at the moment, but anyone in particular you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, let's give a shout out to Baxter, Mum and Dad for supporting me as always.
No worries. Thank you so much, Josh McMahon. Congratulations again on the PT finish.
No worries. Cheers, mate.
Next up, we will head to the race winner, the number 21, the man in the purple Mitch Motorsport car, Mr. Jason Martin. Congratulations on that victory, mate.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, mate. Whew. That was hard work. That was fun.
I was about to say, that was not one that was easy for you. That was very much a hard-earned race there. Racing at the end as well, we saw you pretty much racing all the way from that final caution. It did not look like it came easy for you.
Oh, it definitely wasn't. I didn't want to burn up the tyres fighting too hard because I had a feeling they wouldn't make it to the end on them tyres. So I had to try and be patient, but I also wanted to get past and be able to relax in some clean air. But yeah, it definitely wasn't easy. I would have liked it to be easier, but no, that was great fun.
Obviously, the Mitch accountants are going to be pretty unhappy tonight because you did use up more than one set of tyres. Any comments on that?
Well, like I said, we spared some in the truck race, so we saved plenty of money there. So they were happy with us, and we had a full set for this race, and I was going to make sure I used them.
They gifted you one extra set of tyres tonight. That's good to hear. It's nice that they're actually letting you have an extra set of tyres now and again. Now, how much did that final caution help you out, just managing to get those tyres and know that you had it pretty much to the end of the race?
Well, luckily I did a race here the other night and I knew how long I could make my tyres last. And I knew that others would struggle to get more than 120 laps on their tyres. So I felt pretty comfortable when I saw that yellow and was hoping it would stay green.
Well, it did indeed stay green. A nice long stint at the end, some great green flag racing, great door-to-door action as well. I mean, your car looks comparatively undamaged. There's barely a scratch on it. Maybe a couple of little tiny flicks of dirt on there, but not much at all. Congratulations on that win again, Jason. And look, for the chase, obviously, this is looking good. Heading in, you were leading the chase. This has got to be a good confidence booster for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we've got a road course coming up soon, so probably lose all of it then, but well, no big deal.
Oh, we got Las Vegas and Talladega to come before you head to the Roval, so there's a little bit of leeway there. I mean, Talladega's not known for its lottery-like action, so you should be fine.
No, not at all.
Nothing strange ever happened at Dega. Congratulations on the win, and of course, shout-outs and love to sponsors of Mitch Motorsport, the top 3 cars in the ANZCAR race here at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
First of all, thanks to everyone in that race for giving each other racing room. That was great fun, and everyone was giving each other room, which allowed us to do plenty of side-by-side stuff, so that was great fun. Got to thank the sponsors, BK Designs, all the boys at Mitch Motorsports. Oh, what an awesome result again. Completely unexpected, but that's awesome. FGM eCast for the broadcast. Got to thank you guys. You do a great job. And, of course, ANZCAR for putting on the series, the best oval league in Australia.
You are always welcome. Thank you so much, Jason. It's always a pleasure having you guys up here, and congratulations on another team lockout. 2nd in a row in the Cup Series. That is something special for you, and 2nd one in the chase as well. That is amazing work from all of you guys.
Cheers, Carol. Cheers, Stuart.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Thank
guys.
you.
Good run.
Stuart, another team lockout here in the chase. Mitch Motorsport do it again. Will they maybe be able to do it 3 nights running? It's Las Vegas next time, so I wouldn't bet against it.
Well, I was just about to say, we're going to have to get a plaque put on a chair and put Jason's name on it, because twice in a week we've had him up here. Had him up here last week as well. We've got to get him to run in the Xfinity Series so he can see if he can do a clean sweep. He is driving hot at the moment. He did mention road course. Of course, we're actually back on Monday night with the Truck Series from the Roval. So We'll see how he goes there. But a really good time to hit a strong vein of form. I say it's a vein of form. Obviously, Jason's a very, very experienced campaigner in ANZCAR, as is Josh. And Danny G, for me, drive of the night, just sneaking in there at the end. Skirley had a really strong performance too. Ed Foster's just posted in the chat as well, just to sort of give the anything you can do, I can do better to Dave Douglas. He had 9% left on his right front tyre. So some drivers hanging on for the finish there. I think that most of them probably expected that there would have been one more caution in that back part of the race. Not that you can plan around it, but given the track and what we'd seen earlier. Plus, as Jason said there as well, with the amount of lap traffic lapped up to position 9, you just expect a little bit more to happen, but no, not to be, which is good because it didn't affect the outcome. And another cracking night of racing in the chase.
Yeah, that's it. And look, as you were saying before about Jason Martin, he had a torrid year in the Cup this year, with only the one win in the standard season. Of course, he's taken out 2 wins in the chase now, I think, off the top of my head. But it's not been sort of the Jason Martin sort of series, sort of Jason Martin performances we've been used to, of course. But now he's coming back on form, and when you come back on form for the chase, we saw last year how that can work out with Edward Foster. If Jason Martin can get back and click everything back on, engage everything, and go full Jason Martin, this is going to be a very tough championship to snatch away from him. Yeah, anything can happen in motorsport.
You're right, and I was just about to mention what happened with Ed last season. So it's about getting in there into the chase, and then obviously capitalising on that opportunity at the right time. So a bit of bad luck there for JCW. He had a really strong run up the front. Obviously, Neil Pearson had a good, strong run up the front as well before his night unwound itself. Hamish Gallagher ended up getting back up into 15th position after that early incident that saw him down the back of the pack. So it's not been a great night for DPR. So they'll be wanting to come back next week. And of course,
I would say Philip Wally had a fantastic night up in P5. I mean, very strong again. And we know Philip Wally, road course specialist, of course, sort of newer to oval racing.
Yeah.
And you would not believe that, seeing his performance out there tonight, up in P5 position. He was there or thereabouts, fighting for the lead of the race a lot of that time. So he has really come on strong, and I can't wait to see what Philip Wally can do next year as well, because he's one of those drivers that is definitely really coming up there. Luke Traher, really strong finish in 6th in the end. So that's good news for him, and of course the chase as well. Foster in 7th, Matt Hunter in 8th. Really strong finish there for Matty Hunter as well, inside the top 10. Dave Douglas in 9th, and as he said, JCW in 10th.
Well, we'll be back next week, back to usual proceedings, qualifying on the same night as the race itself, as we usually see. We've got a driver interview coming your way as well in the pre-race, so it'll be back on at 7:45 next Thursday evening, but as I mentioned earlier, back on Monday with the trucks from the Charlotte Roval. So we've got that coming up for you. Of course, Tuesday night we're off with and a couple of off weeks for the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series before Season 5 gets underway, and then Wednesday back with the Thunder Series as well. So plenty to come next week on FGM eCast. In the meantime, do make sure that you follow us on our social channels, wherever you're watching from, whichever your favourite platform is. Be sure to follow us on YouTube as well, where we are posting our other content other than just the live streams, to keep yourselves entertained. And there'll be a couple of highlights out of tonight's race that we'll pull out and have a look at, and to that as well. So have a look at that one. Carl, as always, thank you for your work tonight on the stream and throughout the week. And we have a couple of nights off before getting back here next Monday. And to everyone that joined us, thank you for doing that. The chat was lively tonight again, which we really enjoy, and it certainly contributes to what we get to do here. So thank you to everyone that joined. From FGM eCast, your E-Place for Pace, Carl Withy, Stuart Brown signing off for the night. Have a good weekend, and we will catch you on Monday.